Dear veterinarians, welcome to youtube.com/Dr. Vet channel. I'm Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor in Veterinary Medicine. Today we see a important disease, osteomyelitis. Frequently, the veterinarian come across in the hospital when there is generalized infection, when there is toxemia, septicemia, bacteremia, or when there is bone fracture, when there is severe trauma. The veterinarians come across this disease. Today we will see part 1. In part 1, we cover introduction or definition, etiology, classification, pathogenesis, and pathophysiology. This is an important disease of bone. We see here what is osteomyelitis. The word osteomyelitis contains several words. The word osteon means bone. The word myelo means bone marrow, and there is attachment of word itis means inflammation. Now you come to know what is osteomyelitis. It is a clinical state in which the bone is infected with microorganisms. Coming to the definition, osteomyelitis is an inflammation of bone caused by infecting organism. The infection reached to the bone or introduced into the bone by mainly two routes, exogenous routes through trauma or by endogenous route through blood, hematogenous route. The infection may remain either localized to bone or it may spread to the other parts of the bone, to bone marrow, to cortex, to periosteum, and soft tissues surrounding the bone. We see here the etiology of osteomyelitis. Main etiology is bacteria, sometimes virus, and many a time fungi. That may be a secondary invasion. All of these infect the bone, soft tissues, and joints. Generally, the bacterial infections are more destructive type, and bacterial infections spread very fast, while the fungi infection produce slow lesions, spread slowly, and it causes a chronic infection. There are certain predisposing factors that help for the development of the disease are anemia, debility of the animal, some other intercurrent infection, either may be bacterial or viral or protozoal, poor nutrition, and important thing is poor immune status. This catch up the infection very fast. The osteomyelitis is classified in three parts based on duration and type of symptoms. If the symptoms are acute, means symptoms less than 2 weeks. Subacute osteomyelitis, if the symptom lasts for 2 to 6 weeks. or chronic osteomyelitis, the symptoms are or last for more than 6 weeks. Another classification is based on mechanism of infection. If the infection is through blood or hematogenous route, generally bacteremia, or exogenous infection, either infection through injections, through trauma, due to fracture, or due to surgery. When it is done by a clinician or when the disease is caused by a clinician, it is called as iatrogenic. Another classification is based on type of host response. How the host respond to the infection. It may be pyogenic or plenty of pus formation or granulomatous, that is growth of fibrous tissue, granulomatous tissue. Pathogenesis of osteomyelitis. How osteomyelitis develop. The bacteria enter bone by any of three routes. We have already seen hematogenous route or through blood, bacteremia, extension from adjacent source of infection. If source of infection is near to the bone, adjacent to the bone, it may enter into the bone. And the third is direct entry through either injury, trauma, or surgery. The common infection sites are active growing parts of the bone. Why these active growing parts of bones are affected? Because they are active, so there is more blood supply there. The capillaries are flooded plenty. It is more vascular, more susceptible to hematogenous infection because it is actively growing. And these areas are metaphysis, physis, and epiphysis, not diaphysis. Metaphysis, physis, and epiphysis. Continuation of pathogenesis. Here we will see types of hematogenous osteomyelitis in cattle that is observed in the field. There are two, physeal osteomyelitis and other is epiphyseal osteomyelitis. Both are actively growing part of the bone, so they are affected. First, the physeal osteomyelitis, infection generally of metaphyseal bone, and this usually affect the metacarpus, metatarsus, radius, or ulna. And common bacterial infection observed is actinomyces pyogenes. The other one is epiphyseal osteomyelitis. The infection originates from subchondral bone and it affects the distal femoral condyle epiphysis, the patellar and distal radius. The infection observed are of Salmonella species. Here we see with detail pathophysiology of osteomyelitis. It is a part of pathogenesis. The metaphyses of long bones are highly vascularized zone. This is highly vascularized zone in the bone. Now from this diaphysis, the medullary arteries reach up to growth plate. Why to the growth plate? Growth plate is the area of greatest activity and branches into capillary. Growth plate from where the growth of bone occurs. So this is the greatest activity area and plenty of capillaries branching there. Now the venous system in this area turns, they take a turn and come down and drain towards the diaphysis. Remember here, the venous system in this area turn and drains towards the diaphysis. Here there is turning of this venous system. Thus, the vessels in this zone are arranged in form of loop. That is turning, make a loop. This loop looks like a hairpin. So it is called as hairpin arrangement. Turning of the loop of these capillaries and coming back to the venous return. This loop is in the form of hairpin arrangement. That means make a loop, a turn. Looks like just like a hairpin. Due to this hairpin or loop arrangement, it results in slowing of the blood flow or slugging of the blood flow. Due to this slowing and slugging of the blood flow, there is a bacterial lodgement. The bacteria stops there for some time. There is lodgement of bacteria and bacteria produce infection there. Thus, there is bacterial osteomyelitis. I think it is clear now. Dear veterinarian, it is my request to share this information to other veterinarians and veterinary students. Support the student and support this channel. Subscribe this. Thank you very much for observing the video. Next time I will come with osteomyelitis part 2. This is very important disease and frequently the veterinary officers are come across such diseases.